Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Q&A Monday, where every Monday we go live. Today I am not doing any slides. I recognized last week that I was on for literally 55 minutes of conversation and talk, and I was so thrilled that so many of you found it so useful. But today is Marshall Monday, and I don't know how many of you are going to that concert, but I wanted to be a little bit brief. I have my slides prepared, but I wanted to sort of introduce the next phase of what we're going to be doing. And I wanted to just chat with you a little bit about Instagram stories, which is where I am going to be headed next in our conversation, right? So I'm going to be doing that. So a few footnotes. A housekeeping notes. So next week we are not doing any Facebook Lives because in Trinidad, as most of you know, it's Carnival Monday, and a lot of people are going to be on the road playing mass or probably watching mass or maybe traveling and far away from all the bacchanal. And so I know that the interest level is going to be a little bit low. So we are not going to be having a Q&A Monday, but we will return next week. So let's get this party started without any slides today, as I said. And I wanted to know if you are here, please tell me hello. Let me know how you're doing. What happened with your posting last week? So just to recap, we did how to do or write better captions. And I gave this 50-something minute tutorial on how you can nail your captions. And a lot of you said that you were going to try it. So I am very curious to know about your impact. I got a question from Charmaine who asked me, she wrote a beautiful caption, and she said how she did not get much engagement from it. And I want to say to you, as I do every single week, this is all about consistency. Now, if you have been writing a particular way and now you're changing your captions, it means that people are going to be a little bit confused about your brand voice because you have not been writing that way before. But I want to encourage you to give yourself time. Give your work time. Give your brand voice time to emerge. And pretty soon, with consistency, there is going to be the building of relationships, and that's what drives Instagram. Relationships leads to engagement. Engagement shifts the algorithm, more eyeballs on your feed, which is exactly the kind of nirvana we want to find on Instagram. So let me know if that makes any sense at all. As I said, today's going to be brief, so I want to jump right into this tutorial on Instagram stories and why I love, can I say, has Valentine's Day gone? Yeah, I love Instagram stories, and it's principally for this reason. You don't have to, Instagram is such a visual platform. And we know this. It's such a visual platform, and there is the consumption of these visuals through photographs and proper caption writing. But sometimes that takes time to do, and I find that stories is a great way to continue to engage with you and my tribe and my followers without feeling the need to always be creating content to put into my feed. So I actually think that by documenting your life and showing people behind the scenes of your work and what it is you do and who you are and the people around you and what you create, that you can actually use Instagram stories very, very effectively, even when you are not using your feed. So for instance, I did not post anything on my feed on Friday, but I was still pretty heavy. Yeah, I did not post anything on Friday. But I was pretty busy using Instagram stories, updating people. Actually, I was going to a party and I updated people I gave them shots from the party, what I was wearing, a little bit risky. And so I was still building relationships and still engaging with my audience, even though I was not active on my feed. And that's why I love Instagram stories so much, because it allows us and allows you to document and not create every single day. Now, one thing about stories, and this is something that I too am learning, I have to confess. I am by no means perfect at this. Like, I have been perfect at, or pretty good at, sharing stories consistently. But what I'm going to share with you today about strategic oversight on your Instagram stories and being really focused on what you are portraying about your business, that is going to make the biggest difference in the world when it comes to identifying not who you are and what you do, but also communicating that with your audience. So you have to know, and you have to think about a story. Now, if you think about a story when you were a little girl, or the stories that you enjoy now as an adult, there are three things that they have going for them. And as somebody who loves telling stories, I've loved telling stories all my life. I think that's one of the reasons I became a journalist, is that stories have a beginning, they have a middle, and they have an end. And so what you have to think about when you're doing your Instagram story is you have to think about those three things. Now, remember, I am not talking about the fun kind of things that we do to engage people. So like, for instance, I told you that I went to a party and it was great fun, and I was showing Marshall on stage, and I was showing the outfit I was wearing and the friends that I was hanging out with. That's cool, and you can do that in the moment, and it can be fun. But when you have to be strategic about what it is you do and who you are and how you communicate with your audience, you have to actually sit down and give yourself time in order to create, because you have to think about what is going to be your beginning, what is going to be your middle, and what is going to be the end of your story. And I would say that you can literally tell a story on Instagram, because remember, people are doing this, like they're tapping the stories, and you have like, it's like this, right? It's like such a rhythm. And so you want to be able to tell stories effectively. And as we go down, I would say the next 2 weeks when we get together again, I'm going to show you how I create insightful, strategic Instagram stories. And today I'm just going to kind of give you some bits and bobs, some tips and some tools and tricks that can help you get better at telling stories on the gram. So I have my tips right here. I kind of jotted it down this morning. And one of the things that I want to tell you is that use mixed media. Now, I am a big fan of holding up my camera and like communicating on Instagram stories. And that is fine. But I'm also a big fan of using photographs, using captions. Again, if you think about people's scrolling habits when they are on Instagram and they are tapping through story after story after story, you actually want to do something that makes them like stop. You want to create a story that makes them stop, that jolts them into awareness rather than mindlessly scrolling. And so I believe that when you use mixed media, when you combine video, whether you're taking, I call it in TV, we call it voiceover. When you're taking a video and you're talking over that video, that's called a VO, a voiceover. So whether you do a voiceover or you show yourself on live taking the story, that's video too. You mix that with audio because Instagram allows you only to record audio. You mix that with a photograph, and I have to give you these two sites. Unsplash and We Heart It. Unsplash.com and WeHeartIt.com gives the most beautiful images. And as for me, like, I usually follow people who are very inspirational to me. And so when I'm scrolling through Unsplash or We Heart It, I'm going to take a caption, of course, credit it. I'm going to take a photograph that I love, and I probably will use it in the future once credited in my Instagram stories. I'm going to be doing this going forward. Actually, I'm going to be creating an Instagram story tonight where all these tips are going to be included. So if you want to have this kind of practical experience with what I'm telling you here, all you have to do is head over to my Instagram at forward40, and you will see how I will make this come alive. So when I talk about mixed media, don't forget you can do video, you can do audio, you can do images, and you can do captions. And of course, you would have planned all of this out before. You're scrolling through your Instagram, you see an image, you save things because you know you're going to be using it later. But don't forget, the key to being strategic about your Instagram story is to give yourself time to plan it. So if you are doing this 3 times a week, I am not going to fight you down. I am going to say that's enough for now until you can consistently do it every single day, or at least for a minimum 5 times a week. Okay, so that's one thing. One tip is to use mixed media so you can stop people from mindlessly scrolling, and it becomes that much of a more interesting story. The other thing that I suggest that you do is that, I don't know, did you know that you can use hashtags in your stories? I'm going to show you exactly how that is done. But if you go to your Instagram story and you tap it on, above you are going to see different icons, and one of the icons, it's in a square box. You tap that on and it tells you that you can put hashtags, you can use location, where you are. So it's really, really useful to use hashtags, because remember last week I told you that Instagram is all about discoverability and the ability to discover people who like the kind of content, who are searching for what it is that you do. They are going to find you once you do hashtags. Now, a quick trick is really, if you don't want to put your hashtags really big across your screen, Instagram allows you to minimize it and almost make it disappear so that it is not visible, but the people who are searching for you, oh my goodness, I have a call which I'm not going to answer. Let me just give a message here. I'm so sorry about this, guys. And Instagram will hide that hashtag, but you will still be discoverable by the people who are searching for what it is you are talking about. The other thing that I like to do, since we are in that square box, is I like to put my location tag. So this season, Carnival that we have here in Trinidad is such a perfect opportunity to be discovered, because there's so many tourists in town. So if you are, let's say I actually have, anybody else doing Airbnb? Like I am. And so I have guests who are staying here in my suite, in a suite that I have to the left of me. And I am taking them to Diane's tea shop and some other places. And I am going to be hashtagging where I am taking them, because if any tourists are in town and they want to go to a great French restaurant, or they want to have a great cup of tea or coffee, and they type in, let's say, coffee shop Trinidad, it's more than likely they are going to discover my post. And by coincidence, if they go onto my feed and they like what they see, they will follow my page. So you get it? That using location is a really great way to be discovered by using your story. So what did we cover? We covered using mixed media. We covered using hashtags. We covered location and always using your location. I told you about these 2 sites. These, my THs, I can never get them right. I told you about these 2 sites, Unsplash and We Heart It, that will allow you to create the most beautiful photography and quotations, because you're going to be strategic about your Instagram story. And my one of my final tips is to use the interactive, and this is the game, right? you would notice that whether I am doing fun content or I am doing serious content on my Instagram, I am all about using the interactive features that Facebook provides us, all of us with. And what do I mean by interactive features? I mean, you can make use of Instagram polling. You can make use of Instagram questions. You can make use of any of the features that they have that will allow you to ask a question, that will allow you to poll your audience. And guess what? You get feedback. And it is your responsibility now to engage with every single comment, valid comment, not some guy stalking you. So with every single comment that you get, I want you, that's valid and that's asking you a question about what it is you're showing or doing, or is just congratulating you, or is sending an emoji. I always respond to emojis with a full sentence because I believe as a communicator, there's an opportunity to teach someone how to engage on Instagram. So so I put up this risque outfit on Instagram. I went to Army Fete on Saturday morning, and I was with a bunch of friends. I was fully secure. I felt very comfortable. And I got I put it up on Instagram story because it was one of my fun posts, not a strategic post. And I got a lot of emojis on it. Now, am I going to respond to everybody who sent me the love heart? Probably not. But if they sent me a love heart with say, hey, you slay girl or whatever, I'm going to say, oh gosh, thank you so much for the compliment. The party was fantastic. I'm going to engage because I really feel that everybody leaving some kind of communication on your platform is an opportunity to have a conversation, because that's how Instagram thrives. It really is about building the relationship. Building relationships is a two-way street. People ask you a question, you respond. They drop you an emoji, you respond. They make a comment, they like something. Even if somebody likes something, I always say like, thank you so much for the love. Glad that you're appreciating the content. Guess what happens? I talk about this all the time. Relationships, engagement, algorithm shift. Your Instagram feed gets seen by so many more people. And I have to tell you this. It was one of the major things that I started doing last year. The beginning of January 2019, I was at 2,500 Instagram followers, and I believe more than 75% of them were my ideal customers and still remain so today. And within 2019 to now, I grew from 2005 to 7,000. I believe I'm at 7,800 or something like that. Now, to those of you who have 20,000, 100,000 subscribers, I may seem like chicken feed. Hey, somebody's joining me. I may seem like chicken feed, right? But I am really proud that, of the audience that I'm building and of the community that I'm building. And even though it's a slow go, I know that each person that joins is joining because there is a value in how I communicate and what I say. So when I am ready to talk about Caribbean Content Creators Club as a membership club, or I'm ready to talk about the social media planner, or I'm ready to talk about this new ebook that I'm creating about video, when I'm ready to sell all the things that I have to sell, that I am speaking to an ideal customer database. It doesn't matter if that ideal customer database is 100 or 7,000, because they are interested in what I, and hopefully what you have to say. So don't forget, using interactive features that Instagram provides is going to be very, very useful in building your Instagram stories. Now, that is it. Oh my gosh, under 20 minutes. Like last week, as I said, I took 50 something minutes, and this is under 20 minutes. Now, tell me, do you like my Q&A Monday to be short and sweet, or do you like it to be like long-winded and very explanation driven? What is your preference? Because I am taking my cues from you. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you're new here, I show up every single Monday. I don't care if one person shows up alongside me or if a whole bandwidth comes alongside for the party. What I'm most interested in is that I'm adding value and that this content stays on the platform so that you can watch it at your leisure at any time that you want to. And when you watch it, you are soaking in the knowledge that I am sharing here with you every single Monday. One of the tips that I want you to do, I want you to learn from my mistakes on Instagram is I'm going to show you this, okay? So I can talk to myself like this. Thanks, Patel. Tell me specifically, what advice did you think? You're saying it's great advice, but what advice struck you the most about what it was I was telling you? And here am I talking to myself. And as you can see, does that look uncomfortable? But if I raise my eyes to the eye level of the screen, okay, hold on. I'm raising short and sweet together with long and open-ended. Thank you so much, Ray. Ray is actually going to be a guest right after I finish the series that I'm doing on Instagram, because I forgot I did not do Instagram stories and I so love it, and I want to show you how it is that you can do yours effectively. So Ray is going to be a guest on our program and talking all about using analytics to tell better stories. And I'm all for that, because I really believe data helps us become better content creators. And she's going to explain how that all works. So she is going to be, I'm not sure if she's going to be on Skype or my eCam. A lot of you are also asking me about what do I use to share these beautiful slides that my designer Aslam creates for me. And I don't have them here today, but I usually do them. And I'm going to be showing you a tutorial. And actually, I would love if, the thing about it is that you have to have a Mac or an Apple. But if you do, and once you do, once I share the link with you, I would be so with much gratitude if you use the link to, if you are interested in making your lives that much more engaging. I really think that slides help, especially if you're a little shy in the beginning, and you're a little shy and you're not so comfortable in front of the camera. I can speak ad nauseum. I know not everybody can, and so the slides help you build confidence. It's very visual. It gets people interested and engaged. And so I'm going to show you a tutorial and leave a link that will allow you to buy the software and the app. It's an app that I use. So Ray saying data definitely helps to tell better stories. I met Ray at a presentation and I was blown away by her presentation, and that's why I think she will be useful to you. So somebody saying looking forward to the tutorial. Thank you for sharing the link. I think this is Avia. Avia, your photograph and name is not coming up. But yes, I shared the link with Avia, and I'm going to be sharing it with every single person here. Now, I want to end by just giving you, I didn't conclude the tip that I was sharing with you. When I look here, I am talking to myself. When I look eye level to the little lit circle at the top of my Apple computer, I am talking to you. So let me do that again. So hello, how did you enjoy this tutorial? See, I'm talking to myself. If you want to get better at lives, I want you to, you can stack right now. I have my computer stacked on a series of books. I am eye level with a circle. And now how does that feel? Does that feel much better to you? Do you feel as if like I am engaging with you personally rather than dropping my eye below the circle, below the camera and chatting with you that way? When you're doing a live, it's pretty, you can have notes and it's pretty okay. Like I had notes today and I was glancing to the side and glancing back up to the camera, and it's pretty okay because I don't have any of my slides with me as prompts. So I took notes and kind of I'm using that as my guide. So it's pretty okay to do that. It's pretty okay to pick up your phone and check for comments and get back to the audience. Now, on my YouTube channel at Forward 40 right this minute, I dropped a new video. I don't know if I actually have not shown it to you before. Now, I have to tell you, it was not shot with our 4K camera. So we have a really expensive camera. When I'm doing videos, I use that camera. This was shot with the iPhone, and the quality is not the best, but I think that the content in it is so useful. You actually get to see how I show up every single Monday here in a very easy fashion of getting dressed, deciding what earrings to put on. As you know, I am not doing makeup anymore if I'm coming from a meeting or whatever, but if I am work from home in studio today, I am not going to be doing like a full face of like makeup. It has all that information there, and I would love if you would go and, number one, subscribe to Forward 40 on YouTube. I am still trying to get my numbers up. We went from 450 to 2,500 followers in under 2 months. And can I tell you, this is like so blow mind. And I've had people who have like, some videos have 42,000 views, 28,000 views, and then there are some that have just 2. So we are really trying to balance things out. I'm working alongside a YouTube strategist. I am taking a YouTube course. I'm getting all the information because one of my goals is to add value to people's lives, as well as, of course, generate revenue from doing YouTube video. And Jennifer Scarrett asked me to do some videos, some tutorials on about growing your channel. And since I am in the middle of doing that process, right after we finish Instagram, that is what I am going to do. I'm going to be teaching YouTube because I am learning, and you know what I say, whatever I share, whatever I learn, I share with you, because I truly believe in competition, in collaboration over competition. We can't be at the bottom of the barrel clawing our way up when we could be helping each other up hand by hand, going up in the barrel together. So that's it. I wanted to do under 20 minutes. It's now approaching 25 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, there's no Q&A Monday next week. We're coming back with Instagram stories the following week. And don't forget to please subscribe to Forward 40. Go now. When you finish watch this, go to Forward 40 on YouTube. Subscribe, leave a comment on any of the videos that you see. I'm trying to get my numbers up. I'm trying to add value to you more with content that you will never see here on Caribbean Content Creators Club. Until next week, enjoy Marshall. Long time. You're going to the wedding, and have a great evening. Bye. Love you.